6 players remain in the Tech Solo Tournament at the Trackmania Games, competing for that grand final spot and the chance to compete for medals as well. Half of the remaining players are German, as we mentioned before we went to the break. Germany looking to make out good on this one, but I'll be honest, Formal, Pack still in the mix. I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion just yet that Germany are going to be getting anything, especially with Loso doing so well.
Yeah, I mean, saying that they're not going to get anything, that seems like a bold prediction, because that's like, what, you think they're going to come 4th, 5th, and 6th? Is that what you're saying? Like, you think it's going to be
Ratchet,
Barbos out?
It's very possible.
I
think it, hang on, G-Geek, it's very possible that Germany come 4th, 5th, and 6th. Back me up on this.
It could be possible, but I think like you're trying to manifest what we've seen on ice last week. I'm not.
It's very
with ice, I can
possible.
see it. With tech, I'm not so sure. I'll be real with you for a second.
Listen, Boney will back me up. Boney, back me up on this. Listen, Pack and Vortex could make it out of this lower bracket ahead of Ratchet and Barbos, right? That seems that's reasonable. That's a reasonable statement. And then look, I mean, all it takes is one German player in the grand finals having a dodgy finals, and that's a 4th, 5th, 6th.
I mean, it would be the first time Germany had a dodgy finals, considering what happened with ice. But I know, I honestly, I think Ratchet and Barbos looking like they are very strong. I think Vortex.
Hold on, let me propose something else to you. All right.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Barbos get through, and then Germany 1, 2, 3.
But Loso exists. That's my counterpoint to you there.
Hey, if Aziox can have a bad final, Loso can have a bad final. Like, I don't know if you saw how things went in that upper bracket final. Yeah. I am not willing to put anything on saying Loso
You weren't
is a
there
bad
to witness
final.
it. I think you're just talking out of your head at this point. So yeah, I choose not to.
What's more likely?
So
are you saying that it's more likely that no German medals over 3 German medals? If we had to take a pick, which one we're going with? No German medals?
Oh yeah. I think everyone would agree. It's more like ultimately, I don't think either of them is very likely, but I do think no German medals is more likely than 3 German medals. That's true.
I'm just digging your hole. That's fine. No worries. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. For me, like 3 German medals probabilities like this. No German medals is like this. Like legitimately, that's how
exactly. They're both low probability. But
they're pretty low. Yeah.
Well, I'm going with
like
1
in
German
50
medal.
is still higher than 1 in 100, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, let's talk predictions then, all right? Formal, who are you predicting to go through this lower bracket final? Are you going to say 3 German medals? You want to
No, I just said it's going to be 1 German medal. It's 1 German medal.
Yeah, no, that seems fair. Okay.
Because Barbos and Vortex are getting through. Pac and Vortex are getting through. Pac looked so strong that last round. He seems really tough to beat. Vortex as well. I just have a lot of faith in the French driver to probably finish 2nd overall. And I mean, it sucks picking against Ratchet because you can never count him out. But I think this is going to be a dark lower bracket for Germany.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Boney, how are you feeling about it? Do you want to swing for the fences, Boney? What do you got?
I'm gonna say Pack and Ratchet, and I'm gonna say it's gonna happen exactly the way it happened with Barbos getting knocked down into lowers. Barbos in finalist, and Ratchet with the snipe. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, G-Geek, I feel like we're sleeping on Barbos and Vortex like as a duo to go through on this one. I'm gonna say that's my prediction for who goes through this match. I know Pac did it in the last match, but that's.
I'm not sleeping on Barbos per se, but have you seen how Pac played? Come on, man, you can't count him out. Barbos, you can't count him out either. Ratchet, neither. But Ratchet's been a little bit on the weak side in the last few matches, and Vortex just has been. Watching Vortex has been an absolute struggle bus and a never-ending tunnel of pain, which I think is going to be ending in a P6. I'm going to pre-shoot that right now. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, and I think I'm gonna get my membership card from
it's a reverse
revoked
curse.
by Team Alpha Dream, but Vortex is getting bumped along with Ratchet. I'm sorry
to say
this, but that's
curse. He's trying to will Vortex through. All right.
No, this ain't a reverse curse. This is realism.
Reverse curse.
Okay.
Nopium.
Yeah, I mean, look. I do think I think what we're kind of getting, and I will agree with my panel that this is an incredibly hard match to call, right? I mean, that if nothing else, we're in a top 6 now, and it's a top 6 that feels there's a lot of parity going on here. I think we're seeing a lot of kind of like someone is going to drop from this upper bracket match. At least one of the 2 players who were in that upper bracket finals is about to bomb out of the tournament, going straight from upper bracket into consolidation final and dropping out straight from there. Whether that's Vortex or whether that's Ratchet, up in the air. Different people have different opinions on it. Some of you think both of them are going to go out. That just there's some recency bias, I guess, is what I'm saying. You know, we've watched on stream Pac and Barbos make it through lower bracket, and we're like, I can't imagine how anyone could be better than this at tech. And so we're just like, well, yeah. I think there's still a chance that we do just see the rematch of the rematch of the upper bracket finals happening in the grand finals. I do think that Vortex is still a really good tech player, G-Geek. You gotta I know that you don't like giving the French players credit, G-Geek.
But as I said, I'm not questioning the skill of the man. I'm just questioning his ability to actually poke his head above water in the strength of field that we have. That's all I'm saying.
Geek's been hurt one too many times by Vortex. That's all I'm hearing from
by
this.
the French team in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, French team supporting is basically the same as Ferrari supporting, if you catch my drift.
That's cruel. I don't think you can compare the French team to Ferrari. Ferrari fans have been going through it for years.
In this team,
Geek, France has a team. It's Alpine. What's wrong with Alpine?
Oh, no. We don't speak about them. They're fake French. They're fake French anyway. No. You know what? Wrap this thing up, Noah. I can't stand being here. I'm out of here.
Understandable. Fair enough. See you, G-Geek. And Formal will send you off to discuss the finer points of which F1 team people should be supporting with G-Geek in the green room. Boney, it's up to us. We got to get this thing back on track in our consolidation final. I don't think we're going to be able to get this thing back on track, Boney.
It's Trackmania. It's what we do. It's not only Trackmania, it's Tech Trackmania in many ways. This will go well. And just to go on a quick little offbeat, just down this side road here, I should have called Mac OS. How did I miss it? I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb right now.
OS.
But the OS joke is gone. Yeah. It's done. It's dusted. Yeah. And instead,
we've eliminated 2 of them.
Exactly. We don't do operating system anymore. Instead, we just do tech players, Pac, Barbos, Vortex, Ratchet. You know, say that 3 times in a row, and surely somehow $1 million will come into your bank account. Maybe in Minecraft, if there's ever a thing. As we do have our final player coming in, finishing up, readying up. Again, some complaints about some minus 20 points. Again, I don't think that's in the rule book, but hey, you know, players do what players do, and what players are doing is getting ready.
Yeah, we are, of course, talking about in the game where we have 1 player delayed. And let's start slapping big points on them. Pack starts on minus 20. That's right. Name and shame.
Damn.
Players not showing up for their matches. There's only 6 players left. Surely you know that we're going to be starting the match. We're getting ready. We are getting ready to start this match. And I look, Boney, it was a little bit chaotic on desk just there, right? I mean, in terms of predictions, unclear, frankly, who ended up backing what to some degree. I frankly don't know who I ended up backing. Never mind who the rest of you ended up thinking was going to make it through this match. It's just genuinely, I think, hard to call. Part of it being that Vortex and Ratchet have been upper bracket all day, whereas all day coming into this, we've kind of seen Pac, sure, started upper bracket, but has been in lower bracket for the last couple of matches. Watching the lower bracket, we've been seeing some incredible matches. We've been seeing some really high-level play and stuff. So it has been hard to picture how good are these guys coming down from the upper bracket. I know most of us have been watching on second monitors or keeping an eye on how the things have been going in that upper bracket. But at the same time, you're still just kind of... It's hard to visualize like how the lower brackets and upper brackets are going to look when they collide, as they are very much doing at this point in the consolidation final. And yeah, Pac and Barbos, they're on heaters, man. They've been driving so quick. They've been looking so good. Pac in particular, cool under pressure in that last match. But Vortex and Ratchet are so goddamn good at tech, Boney.
That's the thing, right? That is exactly it. And whether or not it's, you know, as you say, that recency bias of us watching Pac and Barbos, because of everybody who has been following along on the mainstream, kind of being enveloped in, seeing all of that, it doesn't really matter too much anymore. And you know what the beautiful thing is about trying to imagining these things, trying to envisioning these things? At some point in time, these things come to fruition and we actually see the action unfold. Not just that, you don't even have to wait that long. Just a couple of seconds as warm-up is wrapping up right now. All our players already set, poised to make their way around the track. Vortex, Ratchet, Pack, Barbos, put them on. It's Germany with 2 players potentially moving on to the grand finals. Will be a massive, massive swing to their point favor in general, making it up to grand finals. But that means they got to put their foot to the pedal. They got to beat Vortex and Pack along the way. And I mean, all the discussion aside, it is a 4-man race, whether you like it or not.
Yep, and we are underway with round 1. I have realized, Boney, just very quickly, that this may be the strongest jawline match that we've had all Trackmania games events long. I mean, Pack, Ratchet, Barbos. I don't know what Vortex looks like, but there are some strong jawlines in this match.
True. A lot of mogging.
Now that's
coming
important,
in here.
probably. A lot of mogging going on. The Mog match. Never mind the Consolidation final. We're into the Mog match. We do have all 4 drivers on track. Vortex, unfortunately, the first player to make a mistake, but the other 3 drivers keeping it close through the middle of this track. Ratchet leading the way, Barbos in 3rd, and Pack splitting the German sandwich at the moment. One last drift to go. Ratchet going very late on that drift, but should maybe be able to edge Pack out. I think Pack going early has helped him out. It will. Pack going early on that drift, getting the acceleration out of that final corner first, and taking away the round 1 win.
Yeah, Ratchet feeling what Barbos was feeling during the previous match. Pack beating them to the line by just the most minuscule of times. And again, that line that Pack is showing off, that final drift, paying off in dividends as long as the match is close, right? As long as we're talking like a 1/10 of a difference, it seems to be enough for Pack to make that work in his favor. He somehow isn't able to finagle his way, get just a little bit enough speed to get past his opponents, and with that opening up things in his favor. 10 points to Griffin Pack. Is that a thing? I don't know. We'll set up some new houses in Harry Potter at some point in the future. Either way, though, this one not looking as favorable as he maybe would have liked. Currently in 4th place with Ratchet in 1st, Vortex in 2nd, Barbos in 3rd, and Vortex, who last round had a bit of a crash. This time in contention, but that drift from Ratchet. I wanted to say the drift from Ratchet looked beautiful until the exit, and then it came crumbling down, and now Barbos left by the wayside. Germany in shambles, with Vortex now trying to get 1st place out of it. Did seem to have a little bit of exit speed extra, but back simply too far ahead. And another 10 pointers. That is 2 in a row for Great Britain.
Yeah, Pack, I mean, got away with one there, you have to say. The crashes from both German players really letting Pack slip his way through the field in what wasn't Pack's fastest round, it has to be said. Still drove well, obviously, still beat out Vortex on pace, but really gifted a win just there. And we've seen it throughout the tech tournament in general. Pace is one thing, right? Pace is great, but consistency is such a factor, especially in this style where, you know, you're trying to push so close to the walls at all times, where you are trying to just keep everything as tight as possible. Being able to do all that, keep the pace up while also not making those mistakes is difficult, especially as we get deeper into the day, as players have been playing for hours already. There's a mistake from Vortex. The Germans lead the way, but Pack is there. If a mistake happens, he's picking up 6 points at least.
Yeah, is just on the prowl, on the hunt. Evil Eye set to Barbos and Ratchet. We'll see if they're you know, good fortune charms are working well enough at this point. Once again, this final drift, we have seen how Pack goes a little bit wider. This time around, he stays in the middle, doesn't want to risk it too much, but you can see how much speed can be gained from going outside, with Ratchet seemingly falling behind into 3rd place, shoots his way back into 2nd. So despite that looking a little bit more favorable for Pack, with the way things were looking to pan out, and it just was a given for him to get into 3rd place as long as all of these players made their way across the finish as they did, as they should, as the seasoned professionals that they are. And I will say, despite all of that, the hoopla, all of that action, Pack still in a relatively comfortable position, right? Those 2 first places giving him a lot of room to breathe. Yeah,
I mean, 10 points and the drop off to 2nd being 4 is just, it's so much, Boney. You get so many points for coming first in this mode. So, you know, I mean, we saw it in one of our earlier matches today, one of the players consistently getting second places, which was good enough to sit third on the leaderboard, right? Yeah. You gotta be picking up these first places if you want to make the push to be one of the first players to hit finalist in cup mode, and Pac is doing just that at the moment. 2 first places already out of 3 rounds, sitting in first at the moment. 3 cars just behind him at the moment. All 4 players separated by a 10th. 1 important drift left to go. We see Pac always going a little bit earlier than the German drivers on this one. I like Ratchet's line. He's coming back with a lot of speed. I think Pac is going to hold him. Maybe, just about, he will, as Ratchet holds the second place. Whoa. Barbos ends up sniped by Vortex at the end. Ratchet, I think, had Pac, but Ratchet's line at the finish line, he went all the way left instead of getting more central.
Yeah, man, what a finish to hold your breath to. Not even a 10th of a second separating all of these players. That is what we want to see, right? That's what we want to watch in terms of tag. Ratchet with a beautiful attack there, but you know, just it just comes down to the minuscule differences between these lines as we, you know, just making our way through. And where Pac initially was taking a bit more of an outside line, Ratchet seemingly took that over as Pac decided to go a bit more safer on that. And it really has been coming down to that, where we have seen in previous matches happening there in Chiaroscuro with the jump into the checkpoint onto the sausage being the issue, right? We've seen a lot of players right before with that drift crashing out, and because of that having a bad respawn. None of that happening right here. All of these players making their way through beautifully, and instead it is always coming down to that final drift, those final few, you know, differences of speed to make it happen. Right now, Pac, I mean, he's eating good. 34 points versus 21 of his opposition.
Yeah, well, we'll see how things go. I mean, new map, new me, new chance to get points back on the board. We head to Magneton second, which means Surfside third, which feels a little bit unusual based on how this, you know, we've seen the maps. I feel like Surfside has basically always been the first map in rotation for the matches I've been watching in the Tech Solo tournament, Boney. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes when we get to map 3. For the moment, though, mistakes from 2 players on Magneton, and I would say this map has maybe delivered the most exciting finishes of any map in the 3.
Here we go again, right? We're making our way to that drift. Let's see, do our players stay alive? Yes, they do. Does Pac have more speed than Barbos, though? He does, but is it enough to overtake? No, it is not. A lot of yeses, but that one no making all the difference. Barbos with the 10 pointers, but only just a little bit of a squeaky bum time situation for the German player, but he's going to be quite happy getting those 10 points in, because, I mean, you do not want Pac, you know, trailing behind on your heels. I mean, there's so much stress happening. Ratchet, I think, feeling the aftershocks of that with that crash out on the start there. And as we go off around number 2, we only start with 3 players here: Barbos, Pac, and Vortex.
Yeah, that's a rough start. We've seen a couple of players make mistakes at the very start of Magneton. Again, feels unusual compared to the other tracks in that regard. This is a punishing map, but seeing players behind by 5 seconds at the start line, a little bit rough. Happened to Epos in one of the previous matches as well, happening to Ratchet now, but German teammate in the lead at the moment, Barbos from Pac. But we've seen how much time there is to be gained at the end of this track around this final couple of corners. One left-hand chicane to go, and that will make or break this round for Pac. For Barbos, Pac goes early. He's going to have good speed again, getting those wheels straight a little bit earlier. He is carrying the speed, but is not able to catch Barbos once again. Barbos with a bigger lead this time around, and an even better time. 54.9 into 54.8 from Barbos to start us off is blisteringly fast on Magneton.
Yeah, 2 rounds in a row, 2 first places, and making all the impact that he needed to make in the rankings. I mean, similar to what we saw in the previous match, a bit of a, you know, 2-way fight happening, but not in the ways that you would like. Pac and Barbos relatively firm in first and second. Ratchet and Vortex relatively firm in third and fourth place, but exactly third and fourth not what you want. That means elimination. This is that Consolidation finals. This is make or break. First and second place are the only 2 to make it up into the grand finals to try and get a medal for their respective nation. And as you have mentioned before already, Germany could potentially get 3 medals for their troubles, but that would mean 2 players going through. Right now, only 1 is set and poised to get into that position, which is Barbos. as we make our way towards those final few turns. Once again, Pack in the way, once again spoiling some German dreams right now as a fight between him and Ratchet is unfolding. Ratchet with a bit of a wider line, maybe able to get a bit more speed versus Pack as we go up. No, Pack stays ahead, only just, I'm not sure what he did. A little bit of sticky tape on the track there just to allow Ratchet to stay behind by 300ths of a second. It's going to be Pack with the 10 pointers and Barbos with only 4. Still though, 24 points in 3 rounds. That's still a good performance.
Pack and Barbos have been within a tenth of each other for the last 3 rounds. Ratchet got involved this time around, sure, and he was 300s behind Pack, but the battle of consistency and pace, and within a tenth of each other, Pack's time in that last round was 4,000ths behind Barbos' time from the previous round. They're driving the same pace, the same consistency, these two right now, and it is an incredible battle to watch on Magneton.
Yeah, it's just raging on, and right now Vortex wanting a bit of that action has been able to get in the lead for the first half. But the second half looking like he is trailing behind just a little bit, a bit more inefficient on these drifts, and you can see that immediately taking effect, that consistency of Pack and Barbos. Despite them being just a little bit behind, they keep the momentum going, they keep the pace going, they keep pushing each other through each and every one of these times. Barbos very close to hitting something, and on the second part, he was unable to recover. He crashes out, and that's only going to be 3 points for Barbos. Pack with the 10 points to his name there as well. So both Pack and Barbos, the only 2 players winning rounds here on Magneton, Ratchet and Vortex. I mean, as this keeps going, they keep slipping down more and more and more.
That's brutal for Barbos. That's really unfortunate, those last 2 rounds. As you said, Barbos and Pack, the only 2 players to win rounds. Barbos wins the first 2, Pack wins the second 2. The difference being Pack was in second place in both of Barbos' round wins, whereas Barbos gets a 3rd and a 4th compared to Pack's 2-2-1-1. And given how close the pace was between the 2 of them, that feels crazy to say. That feels unfair to Barbos, which doesn't make any sense, because all it was as a result of everyone driving their hardest, everyone driving well, Ratchet in particular sneaking in between Pack and Barbos in round 3 on the track. But Pack the big winner, walking away from Magneton, extending that lead out front as a result as well. And hey, look, Boney, I was talking it up. I was like, we don't know what the upper bracket is like. You know, these are still really good tech players. It's just recency bias because we've been seeing the lower bracket players. No, it kind of turns out that like maybe the lower bracket players really are just that good today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they've had for breakfast, but whatever it was, count me in, because I need that type of skill in my ranked matches whenever I do decide to play those, as Barbos and Pack, despite them being in the lower bracket for a couple of rounds already at least. They are here to fight, and Ratchet and Vortex just unable to get a grip on things, unable to get these lines going in the way that they want them to. Surfside, first time here, Whiskey's map, making his return here as the 3rd map, which, as you mentioned before, a bit of an odd one, as we have seen it quite a lot in the first map of the rotation, but it's going to be Barbos and Vortex looking like they were making their way towards the line. Ratchet right behind, Pack following suit, but no real differences happening between each and every one of these. Just a matter of, you know, more efficient lines coming in from Barbos there to keep the lead, and no one else really able to make their way past, no one able to make an attack happen to get some points in their favor. But great driving there from Barbos.
Yeah, I mean, again, Barbos looking really, really strong, and Pack being in last place, important on that round for the chance for everyone to stay on his tail. Ratchet's not that far behind Barbos as well. I mean, the gap is 15 points, but that's a couple of first places, you know? I mean, if you can start to pick up those first places, we said those 10 points are absolutely massive in this cup mode format. That remains true. That has not changed in the 2 maps we have played since, and that's going to be Barbos dropping away from the front. Ratchet and Vortex, the 2 players in 3rd and 4th at the moment, lead the way. Ratchet no longer leads the way, clips on the inside. Vortex leading from Pack. Pack might walk away with a round win here on what looked like a slow start from him. He is now climbing his way through that leaderboard, gaining on Vortex as well. There's still time to be gained in this last drift, but I think Vortex has done enough. This will be Vortex's first round win of the match as he picks up the full 10 points.
Yeah, and considering, as you mentioned before, right, Vortex coming in as one of the upper bracket players, you'd expect, maybe a little bit more. Maybe a bit more action, a bit more fight. He has found himself into third place, but it's more because of Ratchet unable to really solidify some good positioning happening in the previous maps than it is Vortex doing a great job at the same time. They are both having their issues, staying in, trying to get in. They're going to have to hope and wait for some mistakes from the top players. And you know what? That is exactly what the doctor prescribed. That is going to be packed down by the wayside. Barbo's still relatively close, within striking distance. Vortex and Ratchet needing to lock down. In this situation, it is no longer a matter of, okay, for either Vortex or Ratchet, can I get first place and that's it? No, can I get first place and bring Ratchet along? Because otherwise, Barbos and Pack will be getting enough points. The gaps aren't that big, and you will be able to really make an impact. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, Ratchet is unable to stay on the ride. Did not keep his hands and feet bit in at all times. Is going to be out and down for the count. And Vortex will be getting another 10 pointers for his troubles as Barbos with the 6. Pack still on last place because of that mistake. No Ratchet with 4 points. A lot of changes are occurring, and Barbo's looking a little bit fallible after 2 round wins from Vortex.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say it, Vortex's time on that last round, the round that Vortex drove really fast, 54.1 on that round. The previous round win was a 54.4, which you're kind of saying, okay, that's a little bit of a gimme in the consolidation final on Surfside. To get a 54.4 and walk away with 10 points is like, all right, buddy. 54.1 though, that was just a great drive from Vortex. See if he can keep this going now as we head onto another round on Surfside, which is delivering here in the consolidation final. It's starting to bring the field an awful lot closer together than it was leaving map 2.
Yeah, I think this is very much the match that most people were expecting to see with these names being dropped into this lobby. Just a lot closer, a lot more action, a lot more, jam-packed. And once again, Ratchet having some issues with that blind jump and unable to get some points in his favor. Pack and Barbos, though, making their way towards the final turn. Barbos going a bit higher, trying to get a bit more speed, but unfortunately, Pack simply too far ahead. It's going to be a 10 pointers for the British player Pack, 88 points in his favor as Surfside is done 8-7-6-5. That is a nice little countdown between our first, second, third, and fourth players in terms of points. So the gaps between each and every one of these, about 10 points. Definitely possible, definitely doable right now. And I think Vortex, with that performance, has done a phenomenal job for his potential tournament future.
Yeah, Vortex, I think, needed a good map at this point of the match. You know, if that had kind of gone the same way as Magneton as Chiaroscuro, then Vortex and Ratchet as well, frankly, along with it, if it had just been Barbos and Pack picking up all the points, those two would have been in trouble. The bottom two would have started to drop away. You're starting to think about finalist mode as we get to kind of halfway through the points required. Oh, well over halfway for the points required for finalist mode. Yeah, Pack nearly at 90 points himself. You're starting to think about, when am I going to hit finalist? How much time do I have on finals before anyone else catches me to close that out as well? And it was getting to a point that it looked dicey for Vortex and Ratchet, but it's still alive. We're still going places with this match. There's still a chance for a quadruple finalist. There's still a chance for some excitement along with it, as we didn't see earlier. It's a pipe dream. I don't think it's very likely. I do think Pack is looking really good right now.
Yeah, I think despite anything happening in the match, the ebb and flow of sorts, Pack has been able to keep things consistently in his favor, has been able to win rounds on every map thus far, and that already says a lot about, okay, which map is or isn't weak. As far as we can tell, Pack doesn't look to be weak on any of these maps. In particular, has been finding himself right now in third place / fourth place alongside Vortex between the two. Ratchet and Barbos side by side, making their way through the second half of the track. And while this section in particular has been an issue for some players in the past, it does look like we finally will have one player actually having an issue. It's going to be Pack with the unfortunate transition there. Barbos and Vortex would have been more of a midline. Ratchet trying to go outside to get more speed in his favor. Will it be enough, though? Making her way towards the line. And he does snipe Barbos. 15,000th of a
German
second.
on German violence. Oh, my
And they
Lord.
didn't notice
yeah,
Vortex.
Ratchet went so early. He went so early on that final drift, and like Vortax and Barbos both went a little bit later, but Vortax splitting the difference, right? Not going too early, not going too late, going just right on that final drift, gained the most out of any of those three through that final corner. And so Vortax picking up a second round win. I will highlight at this point that is only the second round win for either of our players who dropped from the upper bracket, and Vortax has both of them. Ratchet yet to win a round in this match, still hanging around kind of within range, but it does show on the scoreboard as well with how important those 10 pointers are. Ratchet in what's starting to feel like a more distant 4th place.
Yeah, it's becoming a match between 3 players instead of 4 players. I mean, initially, our first rotation, it looked like Pack and Barbos had it in the pocket, but that's why we're playing up to 120 points, right? There is still some volatility in terms of positioning, in terms of how rounds go, and playing up to 120 just allows our players to thrive just that little bit more as we make our way through the last drift. Once again, we've seen how good Ratchet is with getting speed, and look at the pace coming out of it, shooting off like a rocket, and finally getting that first place and getting those 10 points in and making it a nice 69. But unfortunately, that is not the number he's looking for. He'd rather have that one at the top, which is packed with 97.
But that is Ratchet's first round win of the match. If he was going to make a comeback, he starts to need to get those, and that is a big round win for Ratchet. It's also the fastest anyone has gone in this match on Chiaroscuro I say all day. In this match, at least. I'm not going to promise that it's all day. And there's Barbos making an early mistake again. The door has not been shut on Vortax and Ratchet in this match, particularly cleanly by Pack and Barbos, who started off so strong and are now starting to look a little bit dicey, as Vortax will drop to 3rd in this match. Ratchet looking for a 2nd round win in a row. That would be massive.
A massive upswing in that regard. Every first place that either Vortex or Ratchet can get is 10 points. It's not a 10-pointer for Pack. It's not a 10-pointer for Barbos. It allows them to stay in the match, and as long as they're exchanging back and forth, it puts both of them in contention. And while you could say, I'd rather not have them do that, that's not the way to think about it. And Ratchet now with the crash is the worst thing to happen for Vortex, as odd as that may sound. It's going to be Ratchet, unfortunately, going to have to go for the safe and after another issue on that regard. And Pack with 10 points, 107. Look at him walking away from Barbos. Vortex, who had a potential to perhaps get ahead of Barbos, is only 4 points away, though, so a lot to play for. But Ratchet there, he was on a path. He was on a set path to once again put Barbos in a position where, maybe you're finalist, but I could deny you.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of getting to the point where Pack has built up enough of a lead that you start to say, yes, Pack probably is one of the 2 players making it out, but this battle behind Pack now for 2nd place to get to the grand final, because we are sending 2 players to the grand final, that is all to play for at the moment, and especially now, picking up 10 points at this point in the match. Ratchet's so close to the wall. That's been his downfall. He's put the car in the wall a little too often during this match, but when it works, it works. He takes up 1st place, and he is starting to build that lead over Barbos and Vortax.
Yeah, it's honestly ridiculous the amount of risk that was involved in that line, but that line paid off in spades. He needs those 10 points, and now with a touch from Barbos, that is confirming Ratchet on 1st place. Another 10-pointer going his way. Vortex on 3rd. Pack on 3rd place. Barbos' mistake, unfortunately, coming in at the end, and I don't think he's been able to drive a real clean round in Chiaroscuro, and getting points mainly due to mistakes on his opponent's side. As with that Barbos, who was looking very comfortable, all of a sudden it's 88 points Barbos, 87 points Vortex, 82 points Ratchet. What just happened?
This match is all of a sudden really, really close, and Pack 1-1-1, sitting a win away from finalist himself. I think the real question, Boney, is how much has the momentum of this match shifted? Because we're heading to Magneton, and reminder, this was Barbos and Pack. We're kind of having a field day here last time, both of them winning 2 rounds on this one. Ratchet at least got involved, managed to beat Barbos in pace in 1 round, and of course Barbos had a crash on 1 other round. But in terms of who was showing pace on this track last time we were here, it was Pack and Barbos, no questions asked. Are Ratchet and Vortex now actually competing in this match? Are they able to take it to Barbos on this match, or does Barbos just reopen that lead right back up over the 2 of them on this track? Does Pack get out of things on this track? Pack might just be finalist and gone by the time we leave Magneton.
Yeah, he was looking a bit less robot, a bit more human on those last couple of rounds. And Chiaroscuro with 2 crashes happening on his side. Right now, first place is the only thing that will solidify his finalist. But even then, there's a lot of room for him to still play with, right? He is still going to have those 3 rounds in finalist where he will have a bit of time, right? He won't have the pressure of knowing that there will be another player that may or may not get past him into the grand final. So still a lot for him to do, still a lot to play. But right now he is dealing with Vortex and Ratchet, who have not, I mean, usually I'd say second wind. We are way beyond second wind. They took a health potion and they went through it. But Ratchet with the most massive of crashes. But Pac, we know how good he is at sniping. And you know what? Here he is. Here he is once again. Vortex so close to victory. Oh no.
Oh my days. That was Ratchet's crash. That was from the soul. That was one of the most violent looking crashes I think I've ever seen up close in Trackmania. Sideswiped by a wall that came out of nowhere. Pac on pace, beating Vortex. We've seen it time and time again. This finish is so good for the drama because you carry the speed from that final chicane, you get the speed uphill, and you can see it coming in real time. The slow motion of it all as you see the pace leading to the snipe. Pac, finalist mode, important for him, has plenty of time now. Nobody else has even broken 100 points. He will get plenty of chances to close this match out.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, it almost feels like Pac is playing with his food. Like, I don't know how, I don't know why. He's driving 4th place right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be able to make up some positions right now. Already finding himself in 3rd place. Now into 2nd place because of that inside line looking phenomenal as ever, and only Vortex currently ahead of him though. Ratchet wanting to get in between, wanting to get ahead. A crash from Pac will send him out. We won't be getting into finalists just yet, and Vortex with a 10-pointer solidifying his 2nd place as well. The match has been completely broken open, where the first rotation, Ratchet and Vortex simply down and out. Who, I mean, it feels like if you had them in your pick'ems, it feels bad, but this is why you keep supporting. This is why you keep cheering on Vortex, the 2nd player on triple digits.
Yeah, and I asked the question when we came to Magneton this 2nd time, is Ratchet now playing like they want to win this match, frankly? Because last time we were here, Vortex crashed 3 rounds and then got a 55 low on pace. The last 2 rounds, Vortex has gone 54.9 and 54.8. It's just 2 or 3 tenths faster than he even looked capable of going the first time we were on Magneton. Vortex is on fire at the moment. And that's the Vortex Pac needs to beat out right now. He also has 2 Germans contending for him. All 4 cars are still here with only a handful of corners left to go. Barbos maybe starting to drift just a little bit away from him. But again, you can gain at the end here. No slide from Vortex. Barbos in a wall. Pac and Ratchet at the finish line. Can Ratchet nail this drift? Can he deny Pac? No, he cannot. As Pac, for the 2nd time today, will have a free run in finalist to the finish line. 3 cars over a second behind him. And he will make it to a grand final off the strength of that round.
Pac doing Pac things. I mean, you know, a grand finals and Pac not in it. Sorry, Pac in it, I should say. Name me, you know, more iconic duo. That was just Pac doing Pac things throughout the entire match, doing phenomenal. It looking a little bit shaky in the last couple of rounds, but able to lock it down on that final one. I think even with without the crashes happening, Pac most likely would have qualified there. But hey, they did happen, and even then, getting the first place in, that's just Pac doing Pac things. So we won't have 3 medals for Germany. It is impossible at this point in time, but there is still that potential for 2. And oh my word, with Vortex just clipping out, disappearing. It is 2 Germans currently duking it out for a first place here. They won't be into finalist mode just yet, but they are looking for any and all points that they can pick up, Ratchet and Barbos, for that final drift. Let's see, is there any cinema to be gained? Barbos with a lot more speed heading into the end, and that is the 10-pointer for Barbos. 112 to his name, and Ratchet finally getting into the 100 points as well, but it is all to fight for. We may have double finalists, actually, but we won't know until we get to our next map.
Yeah. Well, we guaranteed will not be double finalist after the next round, Boney. But that's a huge win for Barbos, because that puts Barbos and Vortex in a position where either of them get finalist with a round win. I mean, you know, normally we're in that position where, oh, you're denying because someone is already on finalist. I think Ratchet is in a position where he kind of needs to win the next round to deny finalist, because if either of the other players get finalist, that's a scary position to be in for the rest of the lobby. You're kind of, if you're Barbos or Vortex, you're looking to win the round. If you can't win the round, your next best choice is Ratchet wins the round.
Basically, yeah, root for the lower, right? Just root for the lower one just to stay alive. And we are getting closer and closer to, well, at least my prediction. And this was very much a, you know, I don't know if it's in the script or not, but technically Ratchet could deny Barbos to move on once again. Yes, the gap is still there. Yes, we're not quite there just yet, but it may still happen. It may happen here on Surfside as we are off. 3 players remain, Barbos, Vortex, Ratchet, to duke it out for that final spot in the grand finals of the Tech Solo.
And I'm scared right now for the 2 Germans, I'll be honest with you, because Vortex looked by far the best player last time we visited Surfside, and right now, that's not a position you want to be in. Vortex came alive on Vortex. It's what revitalized him in this match. But with that said, both Germans slipping past him through the middle of the track. Vortex early on this drift, looking for exit speed, but missing his apex just a little bit. Barbos and Ratchet pull clear. A car length ahead of Vortex, who is still fighting, still looking for a way back in. But I think one of the Germans is taking this round, and that's either Barbos on finalist or Ratchet denying, and right now it's looking like Barbos.
Yeah, final drift coming in. Final turn into the finish. Does anyone miss it? No one missing it, but Ratchet with the snipe. He does it again. He can't keep getting away with this. Barbos on 118. Oh, it's beginning. It's starting. Flashbacks are already occurring for Barbos. This is the moment in the anime where, you know, the protagonists, they sit down, they see the situation, they see the exact same actions unfolding from their opponent, you know, and it's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it's all panic. This Barbos needing to clutch down, needing to hold down, not being worried about this.
Vortex only coming third in that round, only getting 4 points, means he needs at least a second. Vortex, if he doesn't get second, if he sits in this third place in this round, he's not finalist. And if Ratchet wins and Barbos comes second, they're both finalists. Vortex could be the only player left in this lobby. Not on finalist, never mind, there goes Ratchet. He's not winning this round. Barbos through into first place. This would be both players hitting finalist, and Ratchet, the one left out in the cold, looking to deny them both in our follow-up round. Barbos so close to the inside wall, stays alive though. It's going to be good speed from Vortex at the end, but not close enough to make the lunge, and that does mean double finalist. Does Ratchet go safe in? He's 5 points off. He needs to win 2 in a row.
Close. It is very, very close. It could happen in just 2 rounds. There is not that much game left. All the leniency, all the room that initially was there and is now being built up, it's all here. Right, you got to make it happen. You know what could also happen is an early mistake. Vortex down for the count as soon as the second turn. You hate to see it. France currently hoping and praying. They never expect to be rooting for a German player, and at the moment they have to do exactly that. Ratchet needs to stay ahead for Vortex to stay in after Vortex has fought back so hard, after Ratchet has fought back so hard in this match. It's all to favor, but Barbos is here. Barbos could do it right here, right now.
Yeah, and he's looking like he's doing it. He was so clean. Such good precision from Barbos through that middle section of the track, overtaking Ratchet, going from a car length behind to just in front on pure pace. Ratchet goes early on the drift. He'll look for speed around the outside. I don't think he's got him. Barbos will cross the line in first place. Barbos will be the second player through this consolidation final, and the lower bracket proves superior to the upper bracket, frankly, in this match, Boney, as both of our lower bracket players make it through over the players who came down from the uppers.
Yeah, just one of those like, oh, you're coming down to our level. Well, we know how to fight her. We know how to put them up, and he did exactly that.
You come down to the mud and we'll beat you with experience. yeah.
Exactly that.
I'll say it. That was I don't want to call it a grimy match. That feels dirty. That feels rude. But it definitely was, back and forth. It took a while for Vortax and Ratchet to get going. Vortax, frankly, for the middle part of the match there, Boney, I thought Vortax had it. He came alive. He looked like the player to beat. Barbos clutched up at the end, though. Let's see what the rest of our panel thinks about Barbos clutching up as well. Because what a match. What excitement. What drama. G-Geek left before the match because we were being insulting and apparently chose not to come back after Vortax lost 4-1.
It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life.
Oh, Jesus. He's descending into Broadway. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's all falling
Can you
apart.
blame him? Can you blame him, though? Because he warned us ahead of time, right? Following the French drivers, it's just going to be heartbreak. It's just going to be disaster. Yeah.
I'm in the process of a reboot. Let me just quickly... There we go. I'm back.
G-Geek OS has been rebooted.
There we go.
Oh, G-Geek. I was saying it, G-Geek. I did, for a brief period in the middle of that match, after we went to Surfside for the first time, once Pac was gone as well, I felt like Vortax was the player to beat. And Barbos went and beat him.
Yeah, exactly. And I was doing some other things around whilst I left rather dramatically after the end of our panel to get some things done. But I was following the match statistics thanks to our great partners, eCircuitMania.com. Make sure to go check it out. And I did notice that on Surfside, 30 points out of 40 in the first rotation of Surfside. He was looking very good and very dialed in. Unfortunately, he was not able to get it into get into the rhythm on the second rotation like he was needing to. And unfortunately, with Carrasco and Magneton, the way they were going, it just it gave us that little glimmer of hope, but this is the kind of thing that I hate, really.
I also think that Noah, you owe Pac an apology. Because coming into that match, you were saying the lower bracket drivers not going to make it. They're not actually, you owe Barbos an apology too, because it was both of them. You were saying, recency bias, lower bracket drivers, they're not going to make it.
We're going to head to a quick break, and we're going to be back with the grand finals of the Tech Solo tournament in a very, very hopefully short amount of time. Looking forward to that one. Our two lower bracket drivers, who it has to be said are very, very good drivers, and I apologize for, saying they might not make it. We are going to actually go to a break, though, because we want to get into this grand finals as quickly as possible. Do not go anywhere. It should be an absolutely thrilling match of Trackmania after the break.